This is the Rob and Roz recap.
The CEO of the Automobile Association of South Africa, Bobby Ramagwede, is with us this afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks
to
for
come
having
and chat
me.
to us.
It's so good to have you in the studio because this has been the topic the whole country has been talking about at the moment. According to you, sir, how bad is it going to be next month?
It should theoretically not be bad. And let me tell you why I say it should not be bad.
Yeah.
If you cast your mind back to 2016, we had that fuel reserve debacle.
Yes.
Apparently, we bought back the fuel back then in 2016. Now, assuming that we didn't sell it afterwards, we've got reserves. And these reserves are meant for rainy days. And like
It's
it is
literally
raining right
Yeah.
now, this is when you tap into the reserves when prices go haywire. So the prices around us are going haywire. We have no real reason to be adjusting the prices to accommodate for the changes in prices globally. We bought the fuel back then at a low rate. And I'm simplifying it for the listener.
Yeah,
we bought it at a low rate. We
And
haven't
so we
done
still
anything
got
with those
it.
reserves. So this is the piggy bank. Dip into the piggy bank.
I love
Okay.
to hear that because, I mean, people have been, love a scaremonger and a fake news and you won't believe what the diesel price is going to be next month, etc., etc. So I'm sure we will see some sort of increase, but it might not be quite as terrifying as everyone thinks.
It should not be, but if it is, then the AA's got a position on that as well.
Okay.
Right. I know obviously you can't predict the future, but does the AA expect a number of what we could expect the fuel increase
This
to be?
is that one time where us as an organization, well, we're not clueless, but we're wary of making publications about the number because, as you rightfully said, there's a lot of fear-mongering going on. There's a lot of opportunistic pricing that we're seeing. There are reports of diesel not manufacturers, diesel resellers adjusting prices prematurely and quite aggressively. I've seen as much as 33 Rand on the litre for diesel. That's almost twice the price of inland diesel.
That is insane. We have so many questions coming through already on the WhatsApp line for Bobby, who is the CEO of the AA in South Africa. And we need to get to all of those, but we also need to get to the news headlines. So Bobby is going to be with us still for a while. So please do keep sending your questions. People are sending photos of petrol stations and the price that they're charging for their diesel.
There we go.
084-8500-942. We've got Bobby Ramagwede here. The headline so far, and it's good to know, it might not be as terrifying as everyone is saying it's going to be, which will be great news. We're still hanging out with Bobby Ramagwede, who is the CEO of the AA in South Africa, has come to chat about the petrol and diesel situation that's on at the moment. Can I ask a stupid question quickly? Sorry, let me turn your microphone on.
Thank you.
Be better at my job. All of this, in part, is because of the war in Iran at the moment and the fact that the Strait of Hormuz is closed. We've been hearing about it in the news for weeks. It carries, if I read correctly, something like 20 or 25% of the world's oil through that thing. As South Africa, where do we get our oil from?
Thank you. I like that question. And that's a simple one. So we do get some of our oil from the UAE, but the balance of it comes from Nigeria, India, and Oman. Oman is unaffected by the strait. Nigeria is also unaffected by the strait.
Got you. This is what I wanted to know, because it's suddenly, this thing is closed, the shipping lanes are closed, and all of a sudden the oil price in the world is going up, and I'm like, hang on, there's other oil in other places as well.
Correct.
Okay.
I
That
have
helps.
some questions from a few of our listeners. The first one is, we'd like to ask Bobby, why is petrol cheaper in Botswana, Namibia, etc., than South Africa when we supply them with fuel? That's from Craig.
I love educated listeners. And I'll tell you why you pay more in South Africa. Almost half of your fuel price is levies and taxes. Only around 9 Rand of your fuel price is the actual fuel.
9.
The balance is levies and taxes.
That is insane.
So on the other side, they're just like, yeah, we're going to charge less.
They charge less because they don't impose those levies.
And Craig makes a good point, because it all gets put on a truck and carried through our country and across the borders and delivered.
Using fuel to get those trucks.
Correct.
The great irony.
Using very expensive fuel to get it there
Exactly.
because it's got levies and taxes in it.
Exactly. We've got a number of photos through of a certain petrol station chain, I'll call it.
You
that
know
have
who you are, by the
already
way.
been putting their prices up So this question comes from Rian. Why do they allow fuel stations to increase, and his spun specifically, the diesel price before the increase has actually been announced?
Rian, you'll notice that the diesel prices tend to differ from station to station, and that's because diesel itself is unregulated in this country. So what you're experiencing right now is what we refer to as opportunistic price gouging by fuel retailers.
So people just deciding, we're just going to put it up now because the news says we can.
Well, the news doesn't say you can. You can increase it, so you're going to justify it using the news. And perhaps you'll hide behind your broader brand saying that the instruction came from head office.
We know who the brand is, by the way. You know as well. Stop it. We're watching you. Another stupid question then. Why is diesel unregulated when it forms the basis for all of the transport for almost every good in this country?
A question we ask the state month after month after month. Of all the fuel that gets consumed in this country, the vast majority of it is diesel. Diesel in industrial applications, diesel cars, diesel trains, diesel trucks, diesel.
Yeah.
Yet the one that has the greatest variance is diesel. The one that gets the most manipulated is diesel. And as you can see from the images coming through from listeners, it's all diesel.
Yeah, it is all diesel.
Yeah. Then something actually, a bit of a lifestyle question comes from Jason. What will companies do for employees that have to drive far to come to work? They can't blame us if there is no fuel or if the fuel is too expensive that we cannot afford to get to work. Why is the government not focusing on this, and are they only possibly trying to make money again? Thanks, Jason.
I hope AA employees are not listening to this. I think the bigger fight that has to be fought here is the government. They have all the power to soften the blow. To the extent that there is a real justification why these prices should be increased, I've highlighted to you that almost half of it is taxes and levies.
Yeah.
With a stroke of a pen, the government can give the necessary reprieve so that you don't suffer as consumers, motorists.
I suppose that's a very good point, because we listen to the news as ordinary citizens and we hear what's going on, and we hear about the war, and we hear about the oil price going up, etc., etc. We just assume that it's a logical outcome, that our petrol and our fuel is going to become much more expensive. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way.
Certainly not the case. So my plea to the government would be, just drop the levies. This is special times that call for special action. Drop the levies.
Fair enough.
This is what Dierveld is saying as well. Why are we increasing the fuel? And that was one of our questions as well. Does it make sense for the fuel price to increase currently?
There is no real reason why it should. Again, this goes back to the comment I made earlier about reserves. If we have reserves that are meant for a rainy day, this is where we tap into those reserves so we don't end up increasing the fuel price. Should we run out of reserves and find ourselves having to buy more expensive crude oil or refined oil, then we can justify it. But again, the second lever is the levies.
Yeah.
Reduce the taxes until we get to a point where the consumer and the economy can handle it. You keep the prices within a band that the consumer can handle. There are far-reaching implications here. We're talking about food, transport, services. It doesn't just all go up by 1, 2, 3 or 5 rand.
Yeah.
Everyone will take a chance at rationing up prices.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Let me ask another question then. You were talking about reserves. There's also a lot of scaremongering going on at the moment that we might run out. There's been no real indication that that's a danger. I've heard stories, Roz was talking earlier today, people have been stockpiling and they're worried they're going to be no more and the pumps are going to run empty. That seems unlikely.
Yeah, look, it seems unlikely based on the facts. For those who are stockpiling, I encourage you not to. There are strict parameters under which fuel should be stored. So I'd hate to discover that people's households have now become fuel bunkers.
Yes. We don't want your house going up in a big ball of flames. Lewis asking a question on the WhatsApp line. When is the next fuel price actual announcement coming?
So how it works is at the end of the month, the Central Energy Fund shares information. But on the first of every month, it's meant to be announced and effective that first Wednesday.
Okay.
You'll recall every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the new month, that's when the pump price is meant to change.
So, first Wednesday of April.
Yeah, but you can expect, I'm under the impression that we're going to see some form of hard announcement come out tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, so many people asking, is this very insightful interview going to be available on social media? Will it be available on the website? We are definitely going to be putting this on our social media because people just have so many questions and it's just been so incredibly insightful to speak to you.
Yeah. Bobby, before we let you go, your chance, what's on the top of your mind around this whole scenario? What do you think the country needs to know?
So I'm looking at my head of PR right now who's shaking his head. I'll be spicy anyway. So this is really a message to the government. We strongly encourage you to do the right thing. We hope that the fuel adjustment is going to be reasonable. To the extent that it's not, unfortunately, the AA will have to mobilize South Africa.
Fair enough.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Go for it.
Are you interested in starting a political party? Because I'm ready to make my crazy there.
I've got 2 votes. I need 1 million more to win the election.
Come on.
Bobby, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. We really appreciate it. It's been lovely to have you on. And I hope this won't be the last time.
Yeah, you're welcome back anytime.
Bobby
Thank you, guys.
Ramagwede is the CEO of the AA in South Africa. We will go and put the whole interview up on the website and on the socials.
Lewis, you have 3 votes.
Thank you, Lewis. I hope your check is in the post.
Jacaranda FM.